Hi, this is Dr. Goldwire. I'd like to show you a little bit more about PubMed used through the National Library of Medicine. Let's say you receive a call from an internal medicine physician who would like to know the best way to treat severe anemia in a Jehovah's Witness patient. The patient has severe uterine bleeding and anemia. What information can you provide? So we want to search for articles about treating Jehovah's Witnesses who have severe anemia. So I want to choose my mesh database again, which is located here in the drop-down list. Choose mesh, and I'm going to type in Jehovah's Witness. And you can see I'm brought to the mesh term Jehovah's Witnesses. You can see the entry terms that map to this mesh term are Jehovah's Witness, Jehovah's Witnesses, Witnesses, Jehovah's, and Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. You could see that this became a term in 2003. And you can see the tree structure in which this occurs under Christianity, religions, humanities, and then it also occurs under persons. So I want to restrict this to a major topic. So I want articles that discuss Jehovah's Witnesses as a major topic. So once I click the box, restrict to major mesh topic, I click the add to search builder. And it will occur in my search builder box. So then I search PubMed. 571 articles, that's too many. So let's go back and add another mesh term, anemia. So you notice when I hit the back button, my search builder disappeared. So again, I want to add to search builder Jehovah's Witness. I then want to make sure I'm still in the mesh database, and I'm going to type in anemia. Again, I can click on anemia as a mesh term to find out more information. And I can see my subheadings here. And I can see where I can limit to a major topic. Do not search for any of the mesh terms that are listed below if I'd like to do that. And you can see there are quite a few mesh terms listed below anemia. And you can see again some terms that can be exploded and opened. PubMed from the National Library of Medicine automatically explodes all terms. So if I chose to search the mesh term anemia, it would automatically search all of these terms listed below anemia. So let's add anemia to our search builder. Now I want to search PubMed. I did 86 articles. I want to limit to English and humans. So one of the defaults is species, so I can automatically limit to humans. And you can see that limited to 84 items. Then I want to show additional filters. I want to choose languages. Choose English. And I limit it to 73. That is still quite a few. So let's go ahead and choose the article type, and let's choose a review article. So here, there are several articles that look interesting. When a patient refuses life-saving care, issues raised when treating a Jehovah's Witness. Management of severe anemia secondary to menorrhagia in a Jehovah's Witness. Management of acute anemia. So now we need to see if the library contains any of these articles. So by doing that, we just click on the title. So I can see here, I can check for full text. So again, I do click check for full text, and we do not have this article. So I don't have a link to the article or the journal. It says, sorry, this article is not available. If I wanted, I could get it from Interlibrary Loan, which may take 24 to 48 hours. It may take even longer than that, depending where they can get the article from. So instead, I'll just go back and see if there's another one in my search that looks good. Let's try the second one by Gutierrez. So again, I click on Regis Library, check for full text. And then I have a link to the article. So this is a case report and a treatment algorithm. So that may be useful. So I can thumb through, and then I can take time and I can read it and summarize the literature and get back with the physician. I have two other examples in the notes about searching for statins and searching for Alzheimer's disease. And I'd like you to review those in the notes. But what I do want to show you is to the right here on PubMed, I can find related citations in PubMed, conservative management, placenta previa placenta in a Jehovah's Witness patient, treatment of life-threatening post-hemorrhagic anemia. So again, I can use that this information if I'm interested and click on these articles. Now, let's say I wanted to limit my search to Jehovah's Witness occurring in the title. So if I go down here to the search details, I can see how the system searched. It searched Jehovah's Witness as a mesh term and anemia as a mesh term and review as a publication type and humans as a mesh term and English as a language. If I wanted to limit Jehovah's Witness to occur in the title, I know that I can change this mesh to TI for title. And then I would hit the search. And I get up 2 articles. Clinical strategies in the medical care of Jehovah's Witnesses. That sounds interesting. Again, I click on the title, and I'd have to click Regis Library, check for full text. But Regis Library does not get this article. And then there's a second one, Jehovah's Witness and blood transfusion revisited, a review of the benefits and risk. So as you can see, if I did put TI for title, I limit my search and I don't find as many results. This is an option when you have a search strategy that yields a lot of results. So to get back to the PubMed home screen, I choose pubmed.gov icon and it'll bring me back home. Now I do want to reiterate the mesh tree structure in PubMed. So I'm going to go to my mesh database and I'm going to type in diabetes. So I just want diabetes mellitus. And I don't see it right away, so I can just actually hit enter. And it returns diabetes. I click on the hyperlink. And again, I can see my subheadings here. Again, in pharmacy, we generally going to use drug therapy, chemically induced. We'll sometimes use therapy for looking up a disease. But here is the tree structure. Okay. So again, in PubMed, if I choose the mesh term diabetes, the system will search for diabetes or diabetes experimental or diabetes mellitus type 1 or Wolfram syndrome or diabetes type 2 or diabetes lipotrophic or diabetes gestational or diabetes ketoacidosis or Donahue syndrome or pre-diabetic state. So again, PubMed automatically explodes your terms. So it uses the Boolean logic operator of OR to search for all terms listed below that mesh term. So there is one other thing I wanted to show you in PubMed, and that was use of the single citation matcher. So on the PubMed home screen, under single citation matcher, I can find a single citation. So this comes in handy when I know the journal name or the date and the author and any of the title words. So I do suggest you use the single citation matcher if you're given pieces of information that lead you to one article. The other thing in this PubMed Home, you can find the mesh database that we've gone through a little bit, and we can also find journals in the NCBI databases. This link will provide you with the recommended abbreviation for the American Medical Association style. So for example, if I type in New England Journal of Medicine and hit search, it brings me to two results, and I can see that the NLM title abbreviation is capital N, capital E-N-G-L, capital J, capital M-E-D. So this is the abbreviation of the journal title I should use when citing the New England Journal of Medicine. I would like you to go through your notes and know about the truncation and wildcard features. Truncation is a way to search all terms that begin with the root word, and the wildcard will replace one letter that may be different, for example, between English and Britain type spelling. So once you search, you need to decide whether you have too many results or too few results. With too many results, you need to consider the use of limits. I always suggest that students limit articles to English and human. And then depending on your question, you may want to limit to the age of the patient or the publication type, such as a review article or clinical trial. You may want to restrict to a mesh specific term. You may want to add subheaders if you have too many results. If you have too few results, you need to make sure that your Boolean logic operators were used correctly. You want to remove any unnecessary mesh terms. You want to make sure that the terms you use are appropriate for your question. Consider exploding your mesh term if you're an EBSCO host. Again, remember that in PubMed, it automatically explodes. You want to consider searching synonyms. And you can always consider using text words in addition to mesh terms. The next database I want to show you in PubMed is from the National Library of Medicine is PubMed Central, which again is an option here. It's called PMC, PubMed Central. And PubMed Central is a free database consisting of full-text articles from biomedical and life science journals. It was created so that persons are able to get a hold of the full-text articles. Keep in mind that publishers and authors must meet criteria for inclusion and agree to provide the articles free of charge for a minimum time period, such as 6 months after the article is published. So when searching Medline, you don't really need to choose PubMed Central because it automatically will search it when you choose to search in PubMed. Hi, Dr. Goldwater here again. I want to show you now how to search Academic Search Premier. So again, in the Pharmacy LibGuide, you go to Primary Literature, and here you're going to choose Academic Search Premier. Academic Search Premier is a secondary resource that uses EBSCOhost as a search engine. This secondary database contains articles from a wide variety of medical disciplines. It is designed specifically for academic institutions and is a multidisciplinary full-text database containing information from more than 4,600 journals. In addition, it contains abstracts and indexing information from more than 8,500 journals. Academic Search Premier contains not only scholarly journals such as those found in Medline, but also magazines and newspapers covering an array of topics. Be careful though, because the database contains magazines and trade organizations, periodicals, which have articles that are not considered as rigorous as those found in medical journals. Oftentimes, those articles in magazines and trade journals are not peer-reviewed. You may want to limit your search to scholarly or peer-reviewed articles. When using Academic Search Premier, be careful about the date of publication since this database contains many older full-text articles. Just as the journal is listed in Academic Search Premier, it does not mean that the library has a subscription. Again, you need to make sure that the library has the full-text article. So for example, if we were searching for an article about the use of anticonvulsants to treat fibromyalgia, we may want to consider Academic Search Premier. What I would do is search for anticonvulsants, and what I would choose is to limit this if you want it, such as we had the mesh terms in Medline, we can have a subject term here. Of course, you need to spell it correctly. And then fibromyalgia. And let's see what happens when we limit to subject terms. As you can see, you can search within the results, Boolean phrases, which we did choose because we have and here. Again, these are my Boolean operators. We can limit to scholarly peer-reviewed journals. We can limit the document type, which means an abstract, bibliography, case report, editorial, obituary, proceeding, report. But right now, let's just leave it as all. Again, I do recommend you limit language to English. Again, this is publication type. Right now, we're going to just search them all. And then we hit the bottom and we hit the search button. And you can see I get 18 articles up. So again, it works the same as PubMed. And if we're interested, we click on the title. We can read more about it. Again, do not limit to full text. This only applies to those journals which are fed into EBSCOhost. We get lots of journals from lots of sources that may or may not come through EBSCOhost. So this article here actually looks interesting, Optimizing Fibromyalgia Management. So again, I would click on the title. You can see the subject terms used. You can see the source, nurse practitioner. So this is not a journal that would be indexed in Medline. But just because it's in nurse practitioner doesn't mean it's not a good journal. It may provide me a very nice review on the therapy with fibromyalgia. I can see my abstract, author affiliations. You can, I may ask you on an exam where the primary author practices. And this is to help me know that you know how to get in here and look at the full record. Now let's see if the library has this. So we click check for full text. And yes, the article is available. Again, I do recommend you choose article, not the journal link. So again, I can review the HTML full text of this article, or I could download a PDF. So again, this article, when I searched, did not come up with a PDF full text link. You can see it's not here. So I do need to check on the title and go through and see if the library carries it. Here's another article from JAMA, Anti-epileptic Drugs for Neuropathic Pain and Fibromyalgia. Again, I click on the title. I click on check for full text. And yes, it is here in the library, so I click on the article link. And this looks like a very good article, review article, talking about therapy for neuropathic pain and fibromyalgia. Again, I can get the PDF and download it, or I can simply read from the HTML format right here. So another database that EBSCOhost has is called CINAHL. CINAHL is the cumulative index to nursing and allied health literature. So I would go up here under EBSCOhost and choose databases. And instead of Academic Search Premier, I would choose CINAHL. Now let's notice the library here subscribes to EBSCOhost, and we get all these databases through EBSCOhost. The ones that we're generally interested in the health field are Academic Search Premier, CINAHL, and Medline. The more databases you choose, the slower your search will go. But I'll just click CINAHL and hit OK. CINAHL provides indexing of top nursing and allied health literature available through nursing journals and publications from the National League of Nursing and the American Nurses Association. Literature covers a wide range of topics including nursing, biomedicine, health science librarianship, alternative complementary medicine, consumer health, and 17 allied health disciplines. In addition, CINAHL provides access to healthcare books, nursing dissertations, selected conference proceedings, standards of practice, audiovisuals, and book chapters. Full-text material includes more than 70 journals as well as legal cases, clinical innovations, critical pathways, research instruments, and clinical trials. So again, this works the same way as we just saw in Academic Search Premier in EBSCOhost Medline. I can choose to type in a keyword here. Let's say we want to look up the self-care of diabetes. If I type in self-care and then I type in diabetes, again, because self-care is two words, I can put a hyphen, but I don't know if all articles have a hyphen, so the best thing to use is my wild card character, which is an asterisk. So this will pick up anything that occurs between self and care, a dash or a blank. So then I hit search, and I get 18 articles. CINAHL also has a dictionary or indexing service, and they call these exact major subject heading, exact subject headings, word and subject headings. So if I wanted, I could choose exact subject heading for diabetes, and let's see if it changes our search results. And that was too specific. So again, I would just do select a field and search with keywords. So these, again, I have to go through and I have to read them. Oh, this first one, it's in Portuguese. I don't want that one. So again, let's go ahead and apply our limits. So here we say show more limits. And we want to do peer-reviewed. We want to do English as a language. And I think that's all I'll do right now, and I'll hit search. So now I get only 8 articles. So I can look through translation, adaptation, and validation of a self-care scale for type 2 diabetes using insulin. Well, that sounds interesting. Support and education of immigrants with chronically ill children. Not sure I want that one. Integrated technology and interventions in the management of diabetes. That sounds interesting. So again, if I wanted to see if we had this first article, I would click on the title. And I get more information. Oh, I can see this was done in Brazil. And it is a foreign medical journal. But to see if we carry it, I check for full text. So I can click on the journal link. However, this doesn't look like it's in English, although it doesn't tell me it's not. So I don't know that I want to use this article. So let's go back. And this other one looked interesting, about technology. So again, since it says PDF full text, I can click right there on that PDF, and it will take me to the article. So again, that's CINAHL. I would use CINAHL when searching for topics specific to allied health care professionals, such as nursing, pharmacy, physical or occupational therapy, anything dietary or associated with complementary and alternative medicine. Another database I'd like to show you is the Cochrane Library. So this is under primary literature. And the Cochrane Library. The Cochrane database of systematic reviews is one part of the Cochrane Library. This database contains full text or systematic reviews prepared by members of the Cochrane Collaboration, a not-for-profit organization of 31,000 contributors from more than 120 countries. The group is based in England. Contributors work to produce systematic reviews of healthcare interventions, reviews that are currently in progress, and the expected date of completion are also listed. Data from 1975 to the present is updated quarterly. These evidence-based reviews about therapy are very well known in the medical literature and highly regarded because data is based upon extensive review and analysis of current literature. The Cochrane Library is composed of several databases. These include the Cochrane Database of Systematic Reviews, which is generally the database we will be using. It also includes the Database of Abstracts and Reviews of Effects, or DARE. Cochrane Central Registry of Controlled Trials, or CENTRAL. Cochrane Methodology Register. Health Technology Assessment Database, NHS Academic Evaluation Database. So here are the other resources, all the Cochrane Library databases, or the DARE database, method studies, technology assessments, academic evaluation, and Cochrane groups. And these are groups of individuals that actually do the reviews. So we can browse by topic if we like. Or we can see what's new and updated. Surgery for weight loss in adults is a new updated systematic review. But let's take a moment and browse the Cochrane database, and let's choose to look at ear, nose, and throat. And then let's look at ear. And then let's look at acute otitis media. So if we had a question from a physician about the use of antibiotics in children with otitis media, we could go to Cochrane Library and search, and we can see that antibiotics for acute otitis media was a systematic review listed in Cochrane. So let me show you a little bit about the systematic review. We can see that it was published online in January 2013. We can read an abstract of the review, Again, this tells us the background, the objectives, the search methods, criteria, data collection, the main results, and author's conclusion. But I recommend beginning with the plain language summary. Basically, this plain language summary will provide you with the data and the results of the systematic review. So it tells you here that an acute middle ear infection, acute otitis media, is one of the most common childhood infections causing pain and deafness. By the age of 3, most children had at least one episode. Although it usually resolves without treatment, treatment is often done with antibiotics. And then their review assessed those studies in which antibiotics were compared to placebo. They included 12 trials with over 3,317 children who had 3,854 acute otitis media episodes. And it provides you with data. And lastly, it says, antibiotics seem to be beneficial in children younger than 2 years of age with infection in both ears and in children with both acute otitis media and discharge from the ear. So if I wanted to know more information, I could look at the article. And this would provide me a lot more data. The figures, the tables, the references. I can look at the summary document, the standard document, or the full text document. These full text documents are very long and generally can be up to 100 pages. I have an example of the use of Cochrane in your notes, and I would like you to take a look at that. Another database I'd like to highlight is Google Scholar, which I have indexed under primary literature, but way at the bottom on other databases. I do not want you going to Google Scholar unless you have to. It should be used as a last resort. Google Scholar is an online, freely accessible search engine that allows users to access full-text articles. You need to enter Google Scholar through the library website in Pharmacy LibGuide in order to retrieve full-text articles. Google Scholar searches a wide variety of sources, including academic publishers, universities, preprint depositories for peer review articles, theses, books, technical report, abstracts, and reprints. Generally speaking, search results from Google Scholar are too broad and too vast. This is why I recommend using Google Scholar only as a last resort. So for Google Scholar, you would put in your keywords such as Alzheimer's disease, and then I always take off patents here and just include articles. And I don't necessarily need citations, so I'll take them away. So Alzheimer's disease without quotes gives me almost 600,000 results. Now when I put it in quotes, it should return those articles which only Alzheimer's disease turns together, and it took out 5,000 articles. That's still way too many. So let's look at statins. I know that statins were once being investigated for treatment of Alzheimer's. So let's put in statins, Alzheimer's disease, and I get down to 12,300 articles. That's still quite a few articles to review. So I would limit, and I generally will choose and go since 2010. And now I only have 4,700 articles. So this is still quite a bit of literature to search through. That's why I recommend only going to Google Scholar if you need to. I sometimes will go here to see what other hospitals have posted with regards to protocols or policies. So again, I don't recommend Google Scholar unless you need to go there to look up something very specific that cannot be found in any of the other search engines. Lastly, I want to say a word about Wikipedia. I think you all are aware that Wikipedia, anybody can edit Wikipedia. I don't recommend Wikipedia at all. I don't want to see Wikipedia as a reference for any of your drug information activities. Again, it's because Wikipedia, anybody can reference it, and you don't know if the information is true. What I will use Wikipedia for is to look up other articles. If you have a new drug, or you just want to see what's out there about the drug that other people are saying, I will use Wikipedia to see their references. But again, I don't recommend looking up and using Wikipedia. For example, simvastatin, Wikipedia is often incomplete of its information. It's not, sometimes it may not be wrong, but it's not complete. So I do like the fact they list the structures over here, give a little bit about the half-life, but again, I would want to know the references. So I sometimes will go to the bottom and see what type of references they're using. But again, I don't want to see you using Wikipedia in any of your drug information activities. The last bit about this lecture is all about primary literature, and I'd like you to read that online. In your notes, basically are talking about abstracts and the type of primary literature, the parts to an abstract, and then lastly I go through the AMA citation style. So please review your notes for this information.